It was a thriller at Murphy Millis Field as the Flash's field hockey team took on the Ohio Bobcats. Could Kent State solidify themselves atop the Mid-American Conference?
The Georgia Bulldogs traveled to DKR Texas Memorial Stadium to take on the Texas Longhorns. Could the Dogs put the Longhorns back in the pen?
And at Huntington Bank Stadium on Sunday, it was an AFC North showdown as the Browns took on the Bengals. Could Cleveland send their fans home happy? Find out and a whole lot more on a brand new Sports Corner that's all yours right now. From the Franklin Haas studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is Sports Corner. Alongside Liv Sharp, I'm Matt Caroli. Well, Liv, Kent State football had their first road conference game of the season as they took a trip to Bowling Green.
That's right, they took on the Falcons. They looked to stun the MAC world and get out of BG with a win.
But unfortunately for the Golden Flashes, they were unable to do so as they fell to the hands of BG 27-6 on Saturday. Redshirt senior Kai Thomas put up a season-high 121 yards, but it wasn't enough as the Flashes suffered that loss. Kent State's defense held Bowling Green's offense to just 7 second-half points, however. Junior Cameron Olds had a career-high 2 sacks, and junior Rocco Nickel led the Flashes in tackles, earning 10. Kent State will stay on the road Saturday to take on the Western Michigan Broncos.
Heading to the pitch, the women's soccer team traveled to Western New York on Thursday to take on the red-hot Buffalo Bulls, who have not lost a game in a month. The Flashes earned a much-needed point in MAC play, drawing 2-2 and ending Buffalo's 6-game home winning streak. The Flashes were led by senior Elisa Arthur, who opened the scoring as she continues to lead the way for the Flashes as she notched her 7th goal on the year. Kent State will return to action on Thursday as they host that school down the road at Dick's Stadium. The first 100 fans will receive a gold Kent State soccer scarf.
Heading to Murphy Millis Field, the Kent State field hockey team owned this weekend, taking some inspiration from last week's Golden Flashback and maybe being in one in the future. They went 2-0, earning wins over the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Ohio Bobcats. The sophomore duo of Eva Usov and Maybrit Duell led the way for Kent State as they each scored 2 goals and had an assist. Usov scored the game winner in overtime against the Bobcats after firing from an improbable angle to score her 7th goal of the season. KSU will continue their homestand when they face the Bellarmine Knights for Senior Day, Friday at 3 p.m.
The Kent State volleyball team visited the Ball State Cardinals on Saturday. The Flashes fought until the end, but were unable to finish the job as the Cardinals won in 3 sets. Junior Mackenzie McGuire led the way with 11 kills, 10 digs, earning a double-double. Senior Tylee Fuller tied her season high with 10 digs and 3 aces, while freshman Leslie Ferruta added a career-high 9 digs. The Flashes will look to bounce back as they travel to Athens on Tuesday to take on the Ohio Bobcats.
All right, let's hit the time machine now as we take you back to 2006 for this week's Golden Flashback. The Kent State volleyball team took down the Western Michigan Broncos 3-1 on Parents' Night. The Flashes won their last 4 out of 6 matches and improved their record to 13-9. Kent State was led by junior Laura Jensen as she made history on this day, breaking her own record of 456 digs 2 years prior. Jensen currently sits at number 2 all-time in digs for the Flashes at 2,167 and still holds the records for digs in a season, which she would set the next year. This has been another Golden Flashback.
The Twinsburg Tigers travel to Brecksville to take on the Bees. Could the Tigers upset the Beehive? Let's head to Broadview Heights for the highlight. The Bees versus the Tigers, both really having subpar seasons, but as the regular season winds down, this is a big game to help turn it around. The Bees end up striking first. The big man, Jake Widmer, the tight end, scores the first touchdown for the Bees. He puts them up 7-0 in the first quarter. Twinsburg on offense, Joey Pollock scrambles out of the pocket, and this QB run puts the Tigers into the red zone. This following ensuing play, it is 1st and goal. Pollock hands it off to Zach Schobert. The running back ties the game up at 7. An excellent run there by Schobert. The Tigers showing no quit. We head to the second quarter. Bees on 3rd and inches. Jacob Ettervach gets the handoff and puts the Bees up 14-7. The Tigers need a touchdown to win the game, but instead, Pollock will throw an interception. That will ice it. The Bees win it 20-28, and the Tigers fall to 3-6.
All right, there was a lot of craziness in Week 9 of high school football. Let's go to some Friday night finals. Streetsboro is still unbeaten as they had 303 yards on the ground in their 49-0 win over Field. Hoover got that 18-17 win over the Lake Blue Streaks thanks to a Paul Koskovich 38-yard field goal as time expires. Shaker Heights, you see that final score, they converted a 2-point conversion on the final play of the game. And for Massillon, a big-time win over the Warren G. Harding Raiders before hosting arch rival McKinley on Saturday. Well, Alabama and Tennessee collided at Old Rocky Top on Saturday. Could the Vols take down the Tide, or did Jalen Milroe and company get a big road win?
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schofield, and I'm going to take you through some of the top-notch college football from the week, starting off with a big Georgia-Texas game. We're in Austin, Texas for a ranked rivalry between Texas and Georgia, and Carson Beck is looking to take out number 1 ranked Texas. All right, second quarter now, Georgia up 10-zip. Quint Ewers drops back. That pass is intercepted by Dalen Everett. That'll be his first of the year, and celebrate, you savage. Off the turnover, handoff goes to Etienne. He's going to be at the 10. He's rumbling to the 5, and that is a touchdown for Georgia. Etienne makes Texas pay down 17-0. First and goal. How will Texas respond in the third? Ewers passes quick to Isaiah Bond. Touchdown Texas. They get on the board here. Beck facing pressure on 3rd and 9. That pass is intercepted by Jahdae Barron. He's going to bring it back to the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's cutting. He's back to the 9. There's a flag on the play. It's going to be a controversial pass interference call. The fans are not happy. They're raining trash on the field here, and I don't know, they're pretty mad here, but Kirby Smart as well is not too happy about this call. This call is going to end up being a fair call, and Texas is going to get the ball back here. Ewers down 23 to 8 in the third. He fires a missile to Jalen Blue as the Longhorns cut the deficit down to 8. Let's see how Georgia responds on a 4th and goal run. Trevor Etienne, like his brother Travis on the Jags, bulldozes into the end zone, and Kirby Smart on the sideline is hyped. Final score 30-15. Georgia pulls the upset and takes out number 1 ranked Texas.
That certainly was an interesting call there. Can't believe they overturned that just because of a little trash on the field. Anyways, we head out to Knoxville, Tennessee. First and goal for the Tide. Jaden Milroe drops back and connects with freshman phenom Ryan Williams. Take a look at that. Wrapped up in a hug, but he still comes down with 6. Bama up 7-0. Later in the third, the Vols trail Nico Iamaleava dashes out of the pocket and fires deep, hits Dante Thornton Jr. in stride for a big 55-yard gain. Iamaleava hands it off to Dylan Sampson, who pushes through the Tide defense into the end zone. The Vols now lead it 14-10, but later Bama has retaken the lead, but Iamaleava is dealing, this time to Chris Brazel II, who dives for the ball, and now the lead switches yet again back and forth in this SEC matchup. Tennessee leads it, but Bama's putting together a drive. Milroe looks and is intercepted by Will Brooks. Tennessee holds on to win it. Good old Rocky Top takes it 24-17 in a thriller.
All right, in the ACC, number 6 Miami on the road in Louisville. Mario Cristobal and company looking to stay unbeaten. The Cardinals looking for a major upset of Miami, but you're not going to do it by doing this. He coughs the ball out. It's recovered by Raul Aguirre Jr. That's a touchdown, and Miami is up by 10. We'll go to the third quarter now. Hurricanes up 31-17. Right after a Miami score, this is Calvin Lacey on the kickoff return from the goal line. He breaks tackles, and he will turn on the accelerator. 100-yard return, and just like that, Louisville is back to within a score. It's 31-24. In the fourth, 38 all. This game has been nuts, and it's going to get even more nuts as A.J. Allen runs it in because Michael Irvin's there. Out of nowhere, he pops out. How about the Miami alumni? He's 11 at 45-38. Now at 52-38, Tyler Shuffits, Ja'Cory Brooks for a touchdown. Don't say die yet, Louisville. It's 52-45. But you need the onside kick here for any chance of the upset, but it'll be recovered by Andrew Cohen. Ball game. Miami stays off Louisville 52-45. The Hurricanes quietly becoming a powerhouse in college football. And what a day from Cam Ward at quarterback. 21-32, 319 yards and 4 touchdowns. All right, Liv, here is the top 10 AP poll. Your thoughts on initially looking at the graphic?
Well, this is the first time I've had the pleasure of seeing this. Oregon up at number 1. I mean, that feels right based on that big win. But honestly, everything is all shaken up. If you would have told me that this would have been the AP poll for the start of Week 9, I would have said you're absolutely crazy. I mean, this is just totally shocking how this season is shook out. All
right, let's bring Evan Schofield back on to kind of make sense of all this, because with things shaking up in the college football playoffs race, what's one storyline you're watching as we get more closer and closer to the end of the year?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Matt and Liv. I appreciate it. I'm going to go with Georgia. Georgia's my team to watch here. Look, they just pulled an upset there, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected number 1 Texas to go down to Georgia. I think Texas was favored. And I think, obviously Georgia just has the proper team because, look, they lost Alabama. They're coming back. And they're rolling up because, honestly, I don't know if anyone saw them coming back from that loss. I mean, they were absolutely, gone after that game. But they're coming back, and they're trending to get back in the playoffs here, and I think their defense is honestly going to deliver here, and their top-notch defense. They got an interception in that game, obviously, but Georgia's my team to watch here, and I think they're going to get up in the polls a little bit. But yeah, they take down Texas. Really surprising there.
Very, very surprising. The SEC was crazy, but there were a lot of crazy and unforgettable games this week. But which games stood out to you, Evan?
Well, honestly, I'm going to go to the Tennessee game.
Okay.
Honestly, Tennessee was stellar. Stellar. I mean, that's an understatement. I mean, you have 2 talented quarterbacks, Jalen Monroe and Iamaleava. 2 incredible defenses to go off of. And look, what's not to love about a defensive game? Scrappy, bold. There's nothing bad about it. Everyone loves watching it. It might be ugly, it might be gross, but look, we're going to watch some good football. Dylan Sampson got it done in the run game. I think he had 26 carries, 139, and 2 touchdowns. So it was definitely a run-heavy game, not really pass-heavy. Yeah, again, a scrappy game. But look, Bama loses their 2nd game of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone really expected that to happen. But look, here it is, and I don't know.
Definitely some growing pains with Nick Saban no longer at the helm.
For sure.
Yeah. Are there any dark horse teams that you think could make some noise in the playoffs, and if so, why?
Yeah. Well, Matt, I've been looking around, and I go to the ACC. You know, we're kind of. We talked about the SEC a lot already, but the ACC, I'm looking at Pitt right now.
Okay.
Pitt is 6-0, right? Eli Holstein is having a stellar season. 15 touchdown passes in 8 games, I believe. He's been incredible. Look, they have a hard matchup against Clemson coming up, but the rest of their schedule is pretty easy. You know, they beat West Virginia a few weeks ago. It was a division rival for them, right? The last time I think they were 6-0 to start was 1982 with Dan Marino, and they won the ACC championship, right? So honestly, I just think they could be a really big dark horse for that playoff, but expect them to go far, not sure. Maybe you win a game, maybe. But I'd look at Pitt. I wouldn't underestimate Pitt, excuse me.
That's a bold choice. Well, thank you, Evan, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, this week we're actually going to stay in the SEC for our college football spotlight. No shade to the smaller schools across college football, but this week, the Florida Gators had some of their true freshmen put up absurd stat lines. First off, freshman QB DJ Lagway threw for 259 yards and an interception. Not too crazy on first glance, but if you look a little closer, you see that he did that on only 7 completions. 259 yards on 7 completions is good for an average of 37 yards per completion, which is absolutely wild, and people got to hear about this. Alongside Lagway in the backfield, freshman running back Jaden Baugh had the best game of his young career, rushing for 106 yards on 22 carries. He also scored 5 rushing touchdowns. Coming into Saturday's game, Baugh had never carried the ball more than 12 times in a game or scored a touchdown in his career. What a way to burst onto the scene. Florida might be 4-3 and relatively struggling this year, but Lagway and Baugh are giving Gators fans a reason to look forward to what this team could look like very soon. The Texans were on the road in Green Bay on Sunday to take on the Packers, who debuted in a cool new look in a battle of the heavyweights who came out on top.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Hi, I'm sports correspondent Ryan Mead, here to give you updates from all around the NFL. Today we begin in Cleveland, where the Browns took on the Cincinnati Bengals. And here we go in Cleveland, as Cleveland Browns will take on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have not won here since 2017, and Charlie Jones is going to take this one out. Oh my goodness, he's got a lane here. He beats the kicker. Does he have enough in the tank? Charlie Jones, is he going to make it? He is going to leap through the end zone. Touchdown Bengals. Going to put the Bengals on the board here first. Look at him triple jump into the end zone. What a play. And now for 2nd and 6, Deshaun Watson is going to go down here. Oh my goodness. Is he okay? He's going to be carted off the field, and he's going to have a torn Achilles. And now 4th and goal for the Browns. They're going to pitch this one to Nick Chubb. He is going to spin into the end zone. Touchdown Browns. What an amazing play. This is his first touchdown since coming back from an injury. Browns fans really like this one. And now Joe Burrow's going to look to take the snap. He's going to look to throw. Throws it to the end zone. Jamar Chase, touchdown Bengals. What a play. Going to extend the lead for the Bengals here as Jamar Chase celebrates in the end zone. Bengals are going to win 21-14 over the Browns. to get their first win since 2017 in Cleveland.
Wow, that was certainly an action-packed game. We now head out to Green Bay. Stephon Diggs settling in well in Houston. Let's see how he does against Jordan Love and the Packers. It is 3rd and 4th for Green Bay. Love drops back, and Tucker Kraft lays out for 6.
Yeah, great effort there from Kraft, laying his body on the line. A great throw from Jordan Love. We may see that a little bit more in this highlight.
A little bit of foreshadowing there. Green Bay looking to take the lead. Love looking long, finds Dontavian Wicks for 30 yards for the score. Hello, Dontavian Wicks. Texans back in the red zone. He throws, he gets intercepted by Kalen Bullock. Really, I mean, once Stroud cleans up those interceptions, he's got to be great.
Yeah, that's been the Achilles heel for Jordan Love. Once he cleans that up, Packers could be a juggernaut.
Well, Texans were in the red zone. C.J. Stroud handed off to Joe Mixon. He fights his way into the end zone. Houston leads it 19-14. Love, quick pass to Josh Jacobs. He runs it up the middle and punches it in for 6.
That's Josh Jacobs' first receiving touchdown in his 6-year NFL career. A crazy streak.
Just a crazy stat. Kaimi Fairbairn for the lead. He's good from 35 yards out. But the new Packers kicker, Brandon McManus, will take his shot from 45 yards. That's good. And Green Bay wins it. A thriller in Lambeau.
Well, with that win, the Packers are 3rd in the NFC North Division. And we're going to show you why that is. Because the Lions at 4-1 are going to take on the Vikings as Skull Chants ring out for unbeaten Minnesota in this big-time NFC North matchup. Second quarter, 10-7 Vikings, Lions with the ball. Jared Goff will hit Amon-Ra St. Brown for the touchdown. Stop me if you've heard that before. And the Lions now go back in front 14-10. We'll go to the second half. Lions up 21-10. Vikings have a 3rd and 8. Sam Darnold to the face of the franchise. Justin Jefferson with the great catch. And you know a gritty is going to be coming here soon. It's 21-17 Detroit. In the fourth quarter, Lions up 28-23, looking to strike for more, but David Montgomery will put the ball on the carpet, and it's picked up by Ivan Pace Jr. for the scoop and score. Penalty will be called on the Lions for holding. 29-28 Minnesota, but that leaves plenty of time left for the Lions. And Jake Bates, who was going to retire to sell bricks, is now making game-winning kicks. 44-yarder is good. He brings the boom. Lions are all alone at first in the North. 31-29 the final.
Well, Ryan, we welcome you back in to talk a little bit of NFL. We didn't highlight this game, but the Steelers got an absolutely spectacular win. Let's talk a little bit about that. Do you think the Steelers are contenders for the AFC Championship?
Steelers, I mean, they absolutely beat the Jets really well yesterday on the Sunday Night Football. It was 37-15. They found their quarterback, I think, with Russell Wilson. But do they have the capabilities of beating the Chiefs, the Ravens, and even the Bills? I think the answer is maybe not, because they've had some games where they've just barely beat teams. They need to really find a way to win consistently, and they need to win big. They won big yesterday, but I think that they can, if they can continue this, I think they have a chance. They've not played a single AFC North team yet, which is very interesting. I think that, scheduling, that was really odd by the scheduling people. But we'll see what they can do here, as they have a very important stretch of games here.
And going back to the Chiefs, they're the only unbeaten team remaining in the league at 6-0. Looking at their schedule, do you think they could go unbeaten?
I mean, the Chiefs realistically can beat anybody. But can they go undefeated? They still have to play the Bills. They still have to play their division. They have to play the Raiders, which, the Raiders seem to always find a way to play good against them. I don't think that they can beat everybody. The last team that went, undefeated throughout the entire regular season was the Patriots, and they had a really good team. Chiefs have a really, really good defense this year. They obviously have Patrick Mahomes. Can they go undefeated? They would have to somehow be able to beat everybody, and I don't think that can happen. I think that they might even lose this next weekend against the Raiders, and I think that we'll see a very interesting game here this weekend. They could possibly, if they were to go undefeated, I don't think there's any reason to doubt that they would win the Super Bowl this year. But I think that realistically, if they were to, whenever they lose a game, they want to win or lose it before the season ends. Let's say they lose week 15. They might not know how to come back from a loss like that. Every team that wins a Super Bowl, they have to overcome something. And I think that if they were to, lose a game here and there, that might be what they need in order to win a Super Bowl.
Well, we saw it there in the highlight. Deshaun Watson out for the season with an Achilles rupture. The Browns have two quarterbacks on roster, Jameis Winston, the veteran, and the relatively young Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Ryan, what do you think the Browns should do at the quarterback position?
This is a very interesting situation. I don't think that we've ever seen a situation like this before where the fans absolutely did not like Deshaun Watson. But moving forward, I think you have to sell some players here. I think you need to get some draft capital. Now, I think that you can keep someone like Nick Chubb, you can keep someone like Myles Garrett, but players like Denzel Ward, I think that he's expendable. I think you can get a couple of draft picks from him. Maybe look forward. Now, for the rest of the season, I think you got to see what you have. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jameis Winston, maybe you sign a third quarterback, see what you can do. Here's a really big take. You could trade for Bryce Young here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe see what you can do for the rest of the season.
That was unexpected. Wow. So are you saying embrace the tank?
I mean, if they were to trade everybody, embrace the tank. But if they want to try and, see what Bryce Young has.
All right. Well, it was another wild NFL Sunday. Thanks, Ryan. So, Week 6 in the NFL still not over. Bucks are on top of the Ravens in Monday Night Football out in Tampa 7-0. With that 25-yard touchdown catch, Mike Evans is the 11th player in NFL history to have 100 receiving touchdowns.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Elijah Washington, and it is so good to be back here on Sportscorner. Now let's dive into this week's edition of 3 Teams, 3 Questions. First up, we have the Miami Dolphins, and the question I pose for them is, will Tua round them back into form? The Dolphins lost to the Indianapolis Colts 16-10 in a game where they should have won. They were able to hold an explosive Anthony Richardson in check, where he only had 159 passing yards on the day, but they did not capitalize on it. The rushing game, though, was in full effect, but it didn't translate into points because of 2 crucial fumbles. One was in their own territory, which resulted in the Colts scoring the only touchdown of the day, and the other happening in the red zone. Now, the other glaring factor is how one-dimensional Miami has been since Tua Tagovailoa went out in Week 2 against Buffalo. Since then, Miami has ranked in the bottom third of passing. As a result, the focal points of the offense, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, have not shown up as they've been a shell of themselves. But there is upside, though. Mike McDaniels announced today that Tua is on track to play in Week 8 against the Cardinals, and honestly, he'll be coming back against a pedestrian Arizona defense at home. My prediction is they will have an offensive boom week where everybody eats and will proceed to get their season back under wraps. Now, second off, I have the Cleveland Browns, and there's a lot of questions, but I'm asking, what's next, and is there still time to make a run? Now, they came off a disappointing loss against the Bengals on Sunday, and they now sit at an abysmal 1-6. Now, this wasn't an expectation for the Browns fans nor NFL fans, but that's just how it is as a Browns fans. I compare it to being a hopeless romantic. You see bits and pieces of some good in somebody, but they just let you down because you blatantly ignore all the red flags. Year in and year out, it's genuinely a toxic relationship between the Browns organization and its fan base. And that's shown even more with the Browns leaving the heart and soul of downtown Cleveland to move to Brook Park in 2029. But we'll talk about that another day. Moving on to the on-field problems. There are issues all over the place, but the root, of course, is within the offense. Now, Cleveland is ranked 29th in points per game and is the only team left in the NFL that is yet to score at least 20 points in a game. Now, that translates to the other side of the ball because the defense is on the field a lot more than the offense. And now that makes the margin of error for their defense get even smaller. Now, their defense is still stingy, don't get me wrong. And if the offense was even half competent, we would be having a completely different conversation right now. Now, Deshaun Watson went down with a season-ending ruptured Achilles injury, and for now, the quarterback direction is unclear. But we will get to find out who gets the nod in Sunday's matchup against the scorching hot Baltimore Ravens. Regardless of who, it'll be a tough road ahead for the team, as they still have 5 division matchups remaining and still have other tough opponents. No team has ever made the playoffs after starting 1-6, and I don't expect the Browns to be the team to overcome the odds. Now, last up, we go to the AFC East and we talk about the New York Jets. And I asked, will their midseason acquisitions help them gain ground? The New York Jets were absolutely dog-walked in Pittsburgh on Sunday night, where they lost to the Steelers 37-15. The Jets had it going on both sides of the ball in the first half, and the offense looked fluid with Devontae Adams in his Jets debut, but his presence alone opened up the field for the rest of New York's skill guys. One of them, Breece Hall, was a standout where he totaled 141 total yards and 1 touchdown, while Garrett Wilson followed suit with 5 receptions for 61 yards. But he had a crucial drop midway through the third quarter that led to an interception which completely shifted the momentum in Pittsburgh's favor. Soon after, the Steelers would deny the Jets from scoring again by blocking a field goal attempt, and they wouldn't score at all, and Pittsburgh would just continue to pour it on. Now, the issue with the Jets is the inability to string together a complete game on both sides of the ball. They have a tendency of playing good for one half and stinking up the other half, and vice versa. Now, offensively, there are many consistencies, but despite only scoring 15 points, they do have signs of a high-level offense. They seem to move the ball down the field with ease in the first half, but struggled in the second half once they fell behind. Now, once they work out the kinks, they'll be fine on that side. Defensively, though, they have a huge question to answer, and that's what are they going to do to help out the secondary? The Jets' defensive line minus Quentin Williams are a bunch of blocking sleds for the opposing team's offensive line, and the Steelers absolutely pummeled them. Right behind them came Najee Harris, running through the entire Jets defense, where he totaled 102 yards on the ground. They have to get the defensive line in decent form in order to maximize the rest of the defense. Now, they do have Hassan Reddick, which he will debut in Week 8, but he hasn't worked out all season. He wasn't a part of the training camp. So, New York has to take care of business, but they have to take care of business against New England, and they should win, but it might be difficult because no win in the NFL is easy. So they have to win a convincing game and just hammer them in order to gain some momentum going into the next week. Now, that's all the time I have for tonight. Thanks for tuning in into this week's edition of 3 Teams, 3 Questions. I'm Elijah Washington. Take care.
Elijah Washington, the man with the plan. Well, the ALCS came to a close this weekend. Could the Gardiac Kids live up to the name and keep their season alive?
OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff the crime dog. No, he's a fake. Oh! I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. You're smart. Buy smart.
Welcome to another edition of Timmy Talks, presented by Sportscorner. My name is Timmy Carlisle, and once again, it's time to talk about pro sports and CLE. Let's get after it. It's been a rough week for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but let's start with the good news. The 2024-2025 Cleveland Cavaliers season tips off on Wednesday in Toronto. And there are lots of great things for the Cavs this season, starting off with the continuity on the team. The Cavs are in top 3 in continuity for this season, which is absolutely incredible how many of their players they brought back from last year. Now, there is a little bit of concern there because we have a new head coach. With the Cavs having a new head coach, I'm looking to see very important aspects of teamwork as we get going early on in the season. It's important to get started on the right foot, and the Cavs are going to look to get after it. Bringing back key figures like Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, we're going to have to see how their teamwork works, but the last time that Evan Mobley was out on the court, he looked really good with his beard. So if bearded Evan Mobley shows up to begin the season, I personally think that the Cavs are going to be just fine. Now, who's excited for the Cavaliers? I know Moondog and Sir Cece are ready to tip things off as soon as they get back on Friday against the Detroit Pistons. But before that, they'll look to take on Toronto this Wednesday. So, Cleveland Cavs fans, look forward. Your season's about to begin. Now, next, an absolutely bitter Sunday for the Cleveland Browns. You heard it here on Sports Corner earlier. Things were not good at Huntington Bank Field. But my biggest question is, why did the Browns decide to sit our backup quarterback? Jameis Winston was inactive before the game started. I immediately texted my group chat and said, boys, what's going on? Jameis Winston's inactive and he is our backup quarterback. We are prepping for something, and I don't think Deshaun is going to be in the future. So, what happens? Unfortunately, a very horrific injury to Deshaun Watson. My thoughts and prayers are out to him. And with that being said, we're just going to move on from that injury, from that person, from that quarterback, and we're going to look toward the future, which is what the Browns were trying to do with DTR. Unfortunately, DTR gets hurt, and then what happens? Thanks to a new rule, luckily we get to activate our inactive player, and Jameis Winston. Things still don't go well for the Browns, dropping the game 21-14 to the Cincinnati Bengals. And folks, we are at 1-6 if you're a Browns fan right now, and the Browns were 11-6 after last season, a playoff team. What happened? I mean, I don't want to kick a dead horse here, but Baker Mayfield and Joe Flacco are absolutely balling out, and it just hurts to see. Like, is there an absolute systematic dysfunction in the Cleveland Browns? How does this happen? People are going to lose their jobs, and I think it's rightfully so. The Browns are clearly all in on the Dome Stadium and Brook Park, and they are not in on their current roster. I don't think many of our current players will even be in the new stadium, and that's clearly where all the Browns' focus is as we move in to Week 8. Now, to end things off, it was a bittersweet goodbye to the 2024 Cleveland Guardians season Saturday night. And how could you not be absolutely proud of this team? They went down fighting hard to the New York Yankees, and they were in the bottom of payroll this season. They were going against the top three, and the Dodgers, Mets, and New York Yankees. Dodgers and Mets on the other side. But when you're going for a pennant, like, that's a big deal. The Cleveland Guardians had a giant pennant in their stadium all season over the spot that will be like a new terrace section next year in their stadium as they're going through renovations. Now, Guardians fans were calling for them to win the pennant the year they had the pennant up, at least I heard. So they almost did it. I mean, a rookie head coach, and you took them to the ALCS, fought the Yankees, and the games were close. They could have gone either way. You know, that's just how baseball works. That's the beauty of it. Sometimes the cards aren't going to fall your way. But there's always tomorrow. The sun will come up tomorrow, Guardians fans. I promise you, things will get better. This is one of the youngest teams in baseball, and you're going to look for them to come back strong next season. It will be extremely interesting to see where some of the Guardians free agents go, and most importantly, what do the Guardians do with their pitching? Well, stay tuned to find out, folks. That's going to be just about all the time that I have for you tonight. Next, it's time to throw things over to Liv at the desk. This segment is going.
It's gone. Thank you, Timmy. The Guardians travel to the Big Apple to take on the New York Yankees. Could they stave off elimination? Guardians forced a Game 5, so let's see what they do with it. Tanner Bybee on the bump for the Guards. Juan Soto lines one into the gap. John Kenzie Noel out there in right field. Gleyber Torres at third gets the wave to go home. The relay from Jimenez. They go home, and Bo Naylor tags out Soto. An excellent play from Naylor behind the dish. Now he's at the plate. He sends it out to the corner, and that scores his big brother, Josh Naylor. That's an RBI double for Bo to put the Guardians up 1-0 in the bottom of the second, but here comes the Guardians' Achilles heel. Giancarlo Stanton, a 2-run bomb out to the bleachers. He has been destroying Cleveland this series, and now he ties Game 5. We go to extra innings. Soto back up to bat, and Soto with a Brooklyn bomb in Cleveland. Going, gone. The 10th pitch at the at-bat from Hunter Gaddis goes yard. That will end it. The Guardians drop the series, and the Yankees are headed to the Fall Classic.
And over on the National League side of things, Mets and Dodgers, LA is looking to win the pennant after the Mets won Game 5 by the final of 12-6. Top of the first, runner on third, 2 down for Pete Alonso. He gets it in near his knuckles. A one-hopper to Taylor. He fires it wide. That will score Francisco Lindor. Alonso will go to second, and the Mets strike first in an unconventional way, 1-0 New York. Bottom 3 man on for Tommy Edman facing Sean Manaea, and Edman will take him yard. 4 RBIs for Edman through 2 innings. That will get Dodger Stadium dancing, and it's 4-1 LA in front. We'll go to the top of the fourth now. Ryan Bridges on a pitch. Look at that graphic. 2 home runs allowed. You see it? Okay. Mark Vientos says, make it 3! They are not dead yet. That one will carry out to left center field, and the lead is cut in half. It's 6-3 New York. A lot of game, and the Dodgers knew that. They put up 10 runs before having a top of the ninth 2-out situation. Blake Trinan looking to slam the door. There's a grounder to Chris Taylor, and in 2024, the World Series will go Hollywood. The Dodgers, for the second time in the last 5 years, win the National League pennant, and now we have our Fall Classic. The top 2 teams record-wise in each league will go toe-to-toe, and the 12th all-time meeting in the Fall Classic between the Yankees and Dodgers, and the first time in 43 years.
It was finally time to crown a champion in the WNBA. The Lynx and the Liberty played a winner-take-all Game 5 last night. Who grabbed the title? We'll see after the break.
I got you. Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're a loser.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake. Oh.
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The championship was on the line in New York. Could the Liberty win their first, or would the Lynx win their fifth? Let's go to Barclays Center to check it out. Like I said, the Lynx looking for another title. This would be their fifth. Liberty looking for their first in 28 years. Game 5 in Brooklyn. Liberty looking to defend home court. Brianna Stewart drives in the paint but turns over the ball. The Lynx come up with a turnover, and it's Nafisa Collier. She gets the ball, heads down the court, dishes it to Natisha Hedeman. Hedeman back to Collier. Collier drives and flips it up and in. Lynx with a 10-point lead in the second quarter. Sabrina Ionescu's been cold on shooting, but with a bounce pass to Niara Sabali, she's still making an impact on the ground. Now the Liberty has their first lead, 40-38, and Spike Lee is losing it. Sabrina Ionescu outside of the arc, she fires, bang! Her first field goal of the game to put New York up 4. Barclays Center is rocking. Collier, the Lynx are not going down quietly. She rolls around Stewart, gets it up and in. We are knotted at 58. 5 ticks to go. Kayla McBride shoots and misses. The Liberty get the rebound, and we get extra WNBA basketball. The Liberty control most of OT. Lynx trying to strike back, but Sabali gets a steal, breaks away, and puts the Liberty up by 5. And just like that, the drought is over, and the Liberty are WNBA champions for the first time.
Awesome stuff there. Well, tomorrow, the NBA is back. Here is some slate of the games that will be featured on Tuesday. The Knicks going to Boston to take on the Celtics in a game that will see them raise the banner, and that's at 7:30. Timberwolves taking on the Lakers at 10:30. LeBron James taking on Anthony Edwards, some high-key superstars in that matchup. Both games are on TNT in the network's final season covering NBA basketball.
All right, it is week 3 of the NHL regular season, so lace up your skates as we take Sports Corner on ice. We start with the Florida Panthers hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Sergei Bobrovsky in the net for Florida. Let's get to the action. Nicholas Ray with a puck dishes to Tanner Pearson. Pearson snacks it past Bobrovsky to put the Knights up 1-0 to end the first period. Panthers on offense. Puck rebounds off the boards, and Sam Reinhart smacks it home before Ilya Samsonov can even blink. We are now tied at 2. Brett Howden soars down the ice. He picks up speed and beats Bobrovsky. Vegas leads it 3-2. We head to the third period. Panthers get the puck on the faceoff. Aaron Ekblad gets the puck at the blue line. It's rebounded, and A2 Lassanarin gets the rebound and pushes it into the net. We're tied at 3. Time ticking down in OT. Gustav Forsling, how are ya? He soars down the ice. 25 ticks to go. Good puck movement. Forsling sets and scores. The Knights fall to the Panthers in OT by a final of 4-3.
All right. Now Saturday night, the Islanders hosting the Canadiens, and this is a game that has an aspect to it that doesn't really happen that often in the NHL. You'll see what I'm talking about later. We'll start early second period, 2-1 Islanders. Montreal on the move. Josh Anderson misses, but Logan Mayhew will score with the worst shot to even this game at 2. Let's fast forward to the third. Same score, New York coming across. Jean-Gabriel Pazzo will miss, but Anders Lee right there on the ricochet. Let's take a look at it one more time. You can see that for Pazzo, he hits it off the pad, but it goes right to the waiting stick of Lee, and the Islanders are back on top. Just a few minutes later, Habs need an answer, and Cole Caulfield will deliver. 3-3 is our score with 2:10 to play in the third. We'd go to overtime, nothing would happen. We'd go to a shootout. It goes to 9 rounds, and Noah Dobson will put it in. That gives the Canadiens one last chance, but Semyon Varlamov will come up with the stop. Islanders get their third win of the year. 4-3 New York, the final in a shootout.
We take a look at the standings. The Eastern Conference right now on the top of the Atlantic, it's the Florida Panthers, followed closely by the Boston Bruins and the Lightning rounding out that division. We've got the Metropolitan, the Devils at the top. They're 5-2-1. Rangers 4-0-1, and the Capitals are 3-1-0. Matt, let's take a look at the Western Conference.
Yeah, out in the West, it is going to be the Winnipeg Jets at 5-0, getting the 10 points. But right there tied are the Dallas Stars. Utah Hockey Club in their first season of existence, they have 9 points, along with the Calgary Flames. And for Seattle, they've got 8, so it's really tight to start off. Now, obviously, season's still young. It's about a couple weeks old, but it's going to be a fun hockey season in 2024.
Our award-winning segments are coming up, and keep it here because come October, the real royalty of the sport world begin to come clear.
I got you. Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
That controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake. Oh!
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops,
Could blow up in your face!
that's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, singing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's time to get chaotic, and that could be the perfect descriptor of the 2024 Cleveland Guardians, because with a first-year manager in Stephen Vogt replacing a baseball legend in Terry Francona back in the offseason, a lot of experts predicted Cleveland would finish with a .500 record at best. But here they are, defying all odds and getting as far in the postseason to a level that hasn't been reached for the team in nearly a decade. The Guardians had 5 All-Stars and put together a postseason run that gave Guardians fans the same feeling as the ones they had 2 years ago in 2016, and the teams of the 90s that saw them make the World Series 2 out of 3 seasons. So where to go from here? Many analysts are saying they must go big this winter. They're calling for a big bat or a huge name starting pitcher in the offseason to bring into the rotation. If they do that, they believe the postseason magic won't sizzle out like it has in years past, and they can find themselves in a situation playing for a world title. This season for Cleveland was inspirational, magical, and most importantly, chaotic. That's why the Cleveland Guardians are this week's selection on Corrali Countdown.
For Empowerment tonight, we are talking about the unsung hero of the 2024 WNBA playoffs, and that is Jonquel Jones. Now, she won the Finals MVP for her spectacular play with the Liberty, but in a star-studded series, she has been grossly overlooked. Jones hasn't had an easy road to professional career, leaving her home in the Bahamas at 13 to play in the States and live with strangers. Jones spent several years with the Connecticut Sun before coming to the Liberty in 2023. She has been a star this year with New York. She averaged 15.5 points and 8.2 rebounds in the postseason, and her Game 5 performance with 17 points and 6 rebounds absolutely earned her spot as MVP. She was dominant in the paint and on the boards. Her impact was felt in every game of this playoffs. Congrats to Jonquel Jones on her long overdue flowers. We all know the best is yet to come.
All right, good stuff there. Well, it's the middle of October.
It is.
We're going to get NBA basketball back tomorrow
We are.
night, like we mentioned
We are.
earlier. All these sports are in motion. So what we did for the end segment, we wanted to ask, okay, if you were the commissioner or rules official in one of these sports, what rule would you change or add to make a sport more enjoyable?
Okay. Stick with me for this. I raise you the nuh-uh rule. The nuh-uh rule would allow coaches one nuh-uh call, which basically it's a penalty or like, you know, it usually would be for a penalty situation. The coaches go, nuh-uh, we didn't get a penalty. The game continues, just like a nuh-uh. It's like a trump card, but a nuh-uh card. It sounded better in my head. Matt?
Yeah, well, okay. Let's try this. There has been a lot, now it's on the rise, but the popularity of soccer in America.
Okay.
Less than all the other major leagues. Let's do what FIFA does. They have a 3-on-3 mode.
Okay.
You're just in like
this
court, for lack of a better term. It's really small. The nets are small. And 3-on-3 basketball, or excuse me, 3-on-3 soccer, no rules. Now,
none?
No, you know what? The only rule that I would still keep is no hands. But when you're playing wall ball, you can like a little bit of hockey in there. You can try and make some moves on a player. I think it could be very beneficial.
Can I tackle someone?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah. Knock yourself out if you really want to.
Thank you, Matt. All right, to the couch. Timmy, what you got? Or Ryan, what you got?
Well, my rule change would be, let's go to baseball. I think that the MLB needs to have a salary cap. I mean, like, here we go again. Yankees, Dodgers. What's new? I think that we need to have at least some kind of change.
I don't know who's
some kind of
clapping.
change here. It has to go because as a fan of baseball, I mean, what's to root for? The playoffs? I mean, like I want to root for my team to make a championship, and it can't happen.
Raleigh and I heard a really good quote the other day, which was, if you're rooting for the Yankees, it's like going into a casino and saying, boy, I hope the house wins. Eli, what you got?
Let's see. So mine isn't as outside the box as you guys's, but in terms of the NBA, I think that they need to, when people take full court heaves or half court heaves, that shouldn't be counted against them, because a lot of people don't take them anymore because it messes up their three-point percentage, and if you get your three-point percentage messed up, then you don't get paid as much. So I feel like in order to cater to the players, which I don't think they should do, but I mean, if you want to watch it and make it more enjoyable, I would say don't count those. Only count them if they go in.
So, Eli, it's really funny you say that because the G League just introduced a rule where if it's with 3 seconds to go in a quarter and you just heave it from like behind half court, it won't go against your shot percentage.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
crazy. That is unbelievable.
That's shocking.
I had no clue.
That's shocking that he knew that.
All right, Evan, let's hear it, man.
All right, so I don't know if everyone remembers, but there was this one Pro Bowl. I was probably 21, 22. Remember when Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Diggs swapped positions and they went against each other, like to see who would win because the Pro Bowl really doesn't matter?
Wow. Pro Bowl shade. Okay, cool.
Sometimes it used to, a lot more. Here's what I'm gonna say. Let's say your favorite quarterback, anyone, Deshaun Watson, something.
Whoa.
He's no one's favorite. What if he throws a pick to the defense, but then the defense can just stay on the field and play offense? And like get back in the end
I see
zone,
what you're doing.
right?
That's cool.
Because sometimes I feel like defense is kind of left out, you know? Because like,
yeah,
look, they can't.
Defense wins championships.
They do.
That's the phrase.
And make him better.
So Roger Goodell, if you're listening, please put that in the rule.
If Roger Goodell is listening.
Look, we would love to have, our favorite DB back throwing passes to someone. Imagine just a big guy just going and rumbling into the end zone. This defensive end,
More love for big man touchdowns. You know what? I'd love to see a big man touchdown.
Thank you. We need more of them in general, and I think that's a good rule, and I think they should implement it.
All right, Timmy.
All right.
Go ahead.
I got a really good rule, but not like those. Those were some really good rule changes. I just heard 5 great ones. But for my rule change, I'm introducing the legalization of steroids.
Okay.
I want to bring it back. I want to see Barry Bonds. I want to see Mark McGwire. I want to see records broken. I want to see the games get crazy. I mean, we're talking basketball. We're talking football. We're talking hockey. Hockey guys are already crazy enough. You start legalizing steroids, watch how much better the games get. That right there is going to make sports more enjoyable. We're going to bring back gladiators. I mean, we're not eating people with lions, but let's juice them up and let's watch them go at it.
All right. Speechless. All right, well, we have an update on this Monday night game between the Ravens and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Well, I do apologize. Oh my goodness, that's right.
It's a doubleheader. Yay!
2-4. 7 Buccaneers. All right, well, thank you for that. 10-7 Tampa Bay, State Farm Stadium. Chargers and Cardinals on ESPN Plus. LA looking to get a road win in the desert. Should be a fun one. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Corner. Thank you so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to KentWire.com. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrali saying wherever the ball flies in the air, Kent State or TV will be there. Good night.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one.
Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe.
Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, Can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
That controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any. OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
Oh!